Hi everyone, welcome to Delta Staffing, the only channel that brings to you up-to-date job postings. Today we are bringing to you an interesting requirement. This requirement is from Target, and we are looking to fulfill the role of a Salesforce lead developer. And like I said, this one is with Target. Before we jump right into it, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, turn on your notification button, and of course, leave a comment so we know how we're doing or what kind of roles you might want to see. With that being said, join me as we review this role together. So this role, like I said, is with Target, and it's for a lead developer within Salesforce, right? And this role could be remote or hybrid. So feel free to make the choice that suits you better. Like this states, this role actually pays between 87,900 and 158,200. By no means should you settle for the least. If you know you are, comfortable within the Salesforce ecosystem, you are good with your Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and of course, you do not need to necessarily be a marketing cloud SME, but Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Communities Architecture, which is now called your Experience Cloud, and maybe Field Service Lightning, or whichever other clouds. Don't get hooked on the cloud thing. The only difference between cloud is Service Cloud with managed packages, and of course those cloud centric objects. Pay is based on several factors which vary based on position. This includes labor market, and in some instances may include education, work experience, and certifications. In addition to your pay, Target cares about and invests in you as a team member. And I always forget to mention this in this channel. So when you're working for a particular company and they actually talk about, they actually talk about something like this where they tend to invest in team members, use that opportunity to get all your certifications. For example, Salesforce, go ahead, get all your developer certifications. If you're trying to become an architect, get all your architect domain certifications, your Salesforce certification, admin, developer one, developer two, app builder, sharing and visibility, development and deployment designer, all of those good certifications that would make you a systems architect or applications architect. Go ahead, take them, and I'm sure a company with this line of phrase would actually reimburse you for all your certifications. So without wasting much of your time, we all know what Target does. Let's jump right into the job description. So the Salesforce developer here would be responsible or should be able to integrate Salesforce platform with external systems, custom or otherwise. So from an integration you should be comfortable doing a REST or a SOAP type of integration, understanding your integration patterns, understanding your design patterns within Salesforce, understanding your coding best practices where you do not need to hard code any records or IDs, making sure it supports bulkification, making sure that you have a way of querying for partial update as opposed to full updates. In Salesforce does not necessarily give us the avenue to query for partial update. Making sure you have a trigger framework that you're following, making sure you do not put your logic inside of the trigger, making sure that you have one trigger per object, and all those good stuff, right? So if you have a solid Salesforce background, please apply for this role. Testing deliverables against the user stories acceptance test. Serve as an expert resource with the ability to configure Salesforce platform as per business needs. So I know the role just talks about Salesforce developer, but also you need to be very comfortable within the declarative part of Salesforce. So both declarative and programmatic would also help you be very successful within this role. You'll be working closely with other teams to ensure that features and configurations meet business needs. Following Salesforce best practices, leverage agile methodology for development and documentation, executing necessary project documentation. So if you remember when I spoke about having like a trigger framework to follow, having the coding standards. Of course, this might not be put in place by the developer, but could be put in place by the architect. But in case we do not have an architect, and you're a developer who is willing to further your career to the architect level, you can always come up with this kind of project artifacts, and it would be a very good look, on you, and a promotion might just be down the line. Use your Salesforce technology acumen to apply and maintain knowledge of current and emerging Salesforce capabilities to configure Salesforce platform and integrate with other systems using industry standard technologies. Provide the team with thought leadership to promote, reuse, and develop consistent, scalable patterns. Provide suggestions for handling routine and moderately complex technical problems, escalating issues when appropriate. I'm not going to go through this. As a Salesforce, be it a younger developer or lead developer, you actually understand all of this. And of course, if you've worked within the agile framework, this would also be an added advantage to you. This person would also serve as an expert resource in Salesforce for disaster recovery and disaster recovery planning. Don't understand how disaster is being used in this context, but in my years of experience, I'll be thinking rolling back, right? So if an implementation was done and maybe deployment was made and it kind of broke a previous implementation, we should have a way of rolling back our previous implementation that was actually promoted to a higher environment. So that's what I'm thinking, but it could be something else. You would encourage the open exchange of information and viewpoint, as well as inspire others to achieve challenging goals and high standards of performance while committing to the organization's direction. You will foster a sense of urgency to achieve goals and leverage resources to overcome unexpected obstacles. I think part of this would be the role of a scrum master or a project manager who would actually work with the developers or administrators to make sure they are unblocked when it comes to a particular feature, epic, or user stories that they are working on. Core responsibilities of this job are described within the job description. Job duties may change at any time due to business needs. The ideal candidate for this role would be someone with a bachelor's degree in computer science or information technology. That would be preferred. Of course, if you did something else, but you've been able to work within the Salesforce ecosystem to gain some experience, perfect. Would have to maintain an active Satania accounting sysadmin certification. I strongly doubt that they can find a resource that has both Salesforce experience and, of course, Satania accounting sysadmin certification. I don't know much about this, but what I'm exposed to is when you find a Salesforce admin or developer, they're focused on the core Salesforce ecosystem type work. If they have integrated Salesforce with Satania, that would be 1 in 1,000 resources. And of course, they might not be out of jobs. So good luck. If you were to get my expert analysis here, would be to maintain an active Salesforce platform developer 1 certification, which actually tells the hiring manager that, you are a certified Salesforce developer. Of course, if you have other certifications, that will be an added advantage. 5 years of software development experience with at least 1 full cycle implementation, 1 to 3 years participating in agile development, understanding how to write user stories, read user stories, understanding the acceptance criteria, iterative development, Scrum teams, sprint personas. Scrum certification will be a plus. 3 years of Salesforce Sales Cloud experience. I had mentioned that at the beginning. Sales Cloud Service Cloud, Communities Architecture, B2B or e-commerce cloud, media cloud, whatever it is. Experience in tools native to Salesforce such as DocuSign, Financial Force Accounting. You don't necessarily need to have implemented DocuSign within Salesforce before. It's very straightforward to actually implement tools like DocuSign. You even have your Conga Composer, which can also produce PDF documentation and of course give you the ability or the capability to sign them too. Financial force accounting within Titania ecosystem would be a plus. And I'll say you can always learn this particular tool. Deep understanding of the Salesforce IDE, integrated development environment. So you might want to go on maybe Udemy and just look for SFDX, which is a Salesforce DX, which is used for continuous integration. So you don't necessarily need to go into the orgs or the environment to start, doing your implementation or writing codes. You can actually pull the code from the source org to your machine or to the lower environment, do your implementation there, push it back up to the source org, do your testing. If it passes, fine. If it doesn't pass, come back to your VS Code, make those changes. So it doesn't necessarily have to be VS Code. It could be VS Code, it could be Source Tree, it could be Jenkins jobs. It could be anything, any of the IDEs. I'm not sure Eclipse is still very much involved, but it could be any of those ones. Hands-on experience with different types of tools of Salesforce IDE. I guess that's what I just spoke about. Proficiency in various database scripting languages like MySQL, Apex, Native, Visual Force Page, and of course Lightning. Okay, Lightning is right here. Lightning Web Component, Lightning Component. So just understanding your SLDS framework. Intermediate knowledge of JavaScript and C Sharp. Well versed with the Lightning framework, demonstrate expertise in analysis and optimization of systems capacity, performance, and operational health. Deep background in finance and accounting concept and processes. Strong communication skills. I'm just jumping through without having to read everything line for line. Of course, here the position may be considered for a remote or hybrid internally as target as flex for your day. So feel free to apply for this role. You can go on the Target website or just go to Google, search for Target Careers. Look for this job role. It is called Lead Developer Salesforce Satania, remote or hybrid. And this is the job ID. If you cannot find it, just use this job ID to do a search and it will bring up this job. But with that being said, always remember to negotiate your salary. There's nothing stopping you from getting 160,000 if you can woo them during the interview stage. If you have more certification, if you have a financial cloud experience within Salesforce, that would be a very big plus. And of course, always remember to ask for a sign-on bonus, which will be a one-time bonus, although it will be highly taxed. Remember to ask for shares and remember to ask for performance-based bonus. With that being said, that will be the requirement for today. Please do not forget to subscribe, to share, like, comment, and turn on your notification. Drop me a comment in the comment section. Let me know how we're doing. Let me know the kind of roles you would like to see. And my email is in the description. So send me a direct email if you want a one-on-one session, resume reviews, and of course the type of roles you're interested in. Thank you. Stay blessed. Remember, everything is possible. Talk to you next week. Bye.